In the world of bass fishing, everybody wants to power fish. Throw your buzz baits down the bank, pick up that 20-pound flipping stick, 65-pound braid. But reality of it is, spinning rod is an essential tool in bass fishing. I don't think there's been a single tournament in the past few years where I haven't picked a spinning rod up at least one time. There's a lot of different actions, but spinning rods are one of those things where you can there's like a central action you can do a lot of different things with. This right here is a 7-1 medium, and that's what I like, kind of a medium action. In bait casts, a lot of times you go medium heavy, probably to a heavy for some people. But in spinning rods, I like a little bit softer action. A medium's kind of my go-to. This is a 7-1 arc reinforcer rod, and it's a medium action. And the medium action is kind of your all-around. It has a little more tip, and the reason you want more tip is because, generally speaking, braid is a big thing on spinning rods now. I use braid on nearly every spinning rod I have. I use 10-pound to 15-pound braid with a fluorocarbon leader. And the point of the braid is just the nature of a spinning reel wants to twist your line. It's spinning is the way it's wrapping on your spool. It wants to twist your line, and braid will combat that. I use 10-pound Yozuri super braid most of the time. I'll go up to 15 on some larger baits, but 10 pounds kind of my go-to, and you can vary your leader. I'll vary from 6 to 12-pound leader. It depends on what I'm doing with it. But that's what's awesome about the braid is you can downsize or upsize without spooling your entire reel with fluorocarbon. So the right setup on your spin rod is what makes it user-friendly, because they tend to get wind knots, tangles like that, but a good braid, a good fluorocarbon leader, and a good action rod will help your spinning rod finesse fishing. One of the main nightmares with spinning reels is the wind knots. Everybody that's used a spinning reel knows that you can get wind knots. And one way to not make it foolproof, but it will help with your wind knots, when you make a cast, you got your bell open, rather than closing it with the handle, you tend to get slack around the spool when you do that. I always close it with my hand. Just make the cast and then close it back with my hand. That keeps the braid from getting loose on the spool, because that's what causes your wind knots, is the braid gets loose under your main line and it'll jump off the top of the spool, and therefore causing just a big mess out the end. And so it doesn't necessarily fix the problem, but it definitely helps, and that's what you're trying to do, is keep the line tight on the spool.